Hello everyone. So I know you are excited about today's session where we are going to talk about art of DevOps. So why it is named as a harmony in code, culture, and continuous delivery. So you will come to know in like few minutes. So if we are talking about DevOps, it is kind of a trend this year, right? It is trend from the last 2 years. So why DevOps is certainly like getting in this kind of a trend and hopes, like increasing the hopes of every engineers out there. So we will talk about that. So let's move to our next slide, which is who am I? So I am development manager at Suppose.dev, and also I have worked with various companies previously in the field of development and as well as software engineering roles. I also led a small consultancy time back where I was like working on the development services with various companies, and I'm also creator of various communities like Keep Up DevOps community, Developer Relations community. So my goal is to nurture the communities and help the developers achieve their goals and with the simplified approach. So same thing we are doing at Suppose. If you are developer engineer who is facing the like errors in the YML policies, getting the pain in setting the YML policies, setting the authorization policies. So we are the one who will simplify your work. Recently, we launched the Suppose Up. Go check it out. It has nice IDE to work on the authorization policies. So today, let's see what we are going to talk about. Today's agenda is like so we will talk about introduction to DevOps for sure, then art in DevOps. So case studies. Let's talk about some case studies. You know this diagram, right? Develop operations and DevOps, and then there's what impact does DevOps occur on the organizations. We will talk about that. Then there is the other things like harmonizing code, culture, and continuous delivery. So how DevOps does that? So we'll talk about that. We'll focus more on these 2 points like future trends and harmonizing code. So yeah, let's move to our next slide, which is what is DevOps actually. So if you are the one you like, if you have in the DevOps and system admin roles from long time, you must have gone through this definition for the long time, but I will not make this kind of a tougher for you. So what is actually the DevOps? Whatever mentioned in that slide, it is okay, but if you dive into it, DevOps is nothing but it is the he or she is the person who will simplify the work of a, so DevOps engineer is a person who will simplify the work of a developer and operations team to work together. And DevOps is not like any one person can manage or something. It is like DevOps is a team, which this team it takes care of everything between the developer and operations management. Let's say you are defining some culture, you are defining some collaborations and stuff. So these are the people who will come with the tools and processes to build a culture and mindset, and that will encourage the collaboration and communication between developer development and operations team. So their primary goal is nothing but to shorten the system development life cycle. So you have gone through that SDLC things, right? So that is the goal, like they simplify with introducing new features, fixes, and updates, so frequently in close alignment with your business objectives, because at the end business goals matter. So other than that, these integrations fosters your environment where building, testing, and releasing software can happen rapidly, right, frequently and reliably. So you must have gone through that CI/CD loop, right, where build, code, deploy, and everything works. So we will also get into that, but yeah, that is something always people show because there is something around that, right? So let's move to our next slide, where we will talk little about historical concept. So if you see here, uh, how DevOps came into the picture, like today's DevOps. So if you can see here, like traditional software development. So traditional software development architecture was made in a manner like you have a waterfall model. Have you, if you are from the computer engineering or computer science background, you must have studied about waterfall model, where it is like you are defining the flow of any software system by the linear approach or a sequential approach, like step by step. There will be some waterfall, and then like how the step by step waterfall works in the form of it goes smoothly through the your rocks, and then it touches the ground. That kind of a thing is there. You will get it in your computer networking and that subjects. So other than that, agile methodology is between the today's DevOps and previous traditional method, which is nothing but agile methodology. You will also learn your like engineering and always, but what is actually it is about, like it emerged from the response to the limitations of waterfall model. Let's say waterfall model was good, but it was not like excellent or something, because there was various loopholes. Like, let's say there is any breakage in between, then what will happen? There is no security part into it, so we have to define that out of the waterfall model. Sorry, so that's why agile methodology came into the picture. Still, many MNCs using the agile methodology. So emphasizing on flexibility, customer satisfaction, and continuous delivery happens in the agile methodology, which also happens in the DevOps. So what is actually the DevOps? So you will see here, DevOps arose from the need to integrate agile's responsiveness and continuous delivery. So let's say whatever findings were there from the agile methodology, like agile methodology was fast, responsive. So that findings as combined with the continuous delivery. Let's say like there is any package into the GitHub system, GitHub versioning. So that package, how it gets introduced to the CI/CD pipeline, and how it gets delivered to the monitoring, and your after the monitoring, sorry, after it gets delivered to the user or customer, then monitoring happens, right? So this continuous delivery and responsiveness of the agile methodology both comes into the picture to offer the stability and efficiency. So that's how the DevOps came into the picture. So let's talk about how important is your DevOps in the modern software life cycle. So yeah, there are some points mentioned, like faster time to market. So what it means by, let's say uh, like today's DevOps is there, right? So with the integrated approach today's for the DevOps, companies can release new features, fixes, bugs they can solve, and more quickly they can stay in competitive market. So let's say you are seeing like there is lot of growth going around the AI and Gen AI, right? So daily there are new changes, like OpenAI launches something, then Meta launches something, then Gemini is launched by Google. So this kind of a market is there, right? Every day new trend comes, and everyone in the market gets clashing with each other. So DevOps team is there who keeps the track of everything, and they have to be fast and responsive every time to meet the market demands. So that's how that is one of the key point. Then improved collaboration and communication. So DevOps breaks down your silos between teams. Silos, you must have heard this in the SREs and all, right? So silos between teams, fostering a culture of shared responsibility, then transparency and faster feedback. What actually it is. So let's say you have the various teams in your companies, right? So DevOps is the team which will help to maintain the culture where every team is sharing everything together. Like there you must have gone through the CRMs and all, right? So DevOps simplifies these things and provides the structured approach for collaborating with the various teams. And whatever happens, like let's say any website is getting deployed or something, right? So when they are monitoring, they will provide the faster feedback to the teams to so development can come together and build some new picture. Similarly, there is an increased efficiency and productivity, which is nothing but there is like automotive. So DevOps kind of came from the automation part, right? A lot of system admins and networking folks were working towards automating everything. So that's how one of the key point in the DevOps is like the automated repetitive tasks. So you don't need to do the same work again and again. So this team will set up some CI/CD pipelines and stuff, which will automate every repeated task, and there will be some workflow defined from the start, like streamlined workflow. Then there is only little manual interventions, which will lead to more efficient development and deployment process. So that's why automation will really simplify everything for developers. What is another thing which is like enhanced quality and reliability. So as you can see, like we talk about CI/CD a lot, right? So that changes the tested and validated your. So let's say you have any changes, like you are doing some new package uploading or something to the Git or GitHub, then every time you are using some new versions, right? So CI/CD will maintain that thing. It will keep track of that. Will test by using some stories defined from earlier and any instructions given by the DevOps team to there. So depending on that, it will test and it will validate, and then it will see like if is there any bugs or outages, then it will reduce that and then it will move forward. So that automatically reduces your bugs and outages in production. So better response to customer needs, let's say, while a more agile approach, businesses can quickly adapt to customer feedback and changing market trends. So as we already talked about, right? Then cost reduction, of course, like if you are automating everything, if you are helping the teams to provide faster feedback, if you are providing the support to go to the market trends and every time come up with the new things, then yeah, efficient processes and this reduced downtime of course lead to the significant cost savings over time. So that's why like DevOps is kind of a more important towards the modern software lifecycle. So if we move forward, now we can see there is one picture, right? So this is nothing but uh, dolly generated for sure. But if you can see here, I wanted to depict like how awesome is the art in DevOps. So why? So we can see here, it is I have mentioned some keywords, right? So you just keep in mind of this keyword, but I will try to simplify it more. So if we can see here, the art in DevOps, like when we talk about art in DevOps, we are referring to the blend of technical proficiency and creative problem solving that characterize the approach of our, like DevOps isn't just about following a set of procedures. It is about like innovating and creating like new challenges and solving new complex challenges in our software development and operations. So what actually we talking about, right? So blending technical and creative aspects, let's say technical mastery. So just like any artist must master their tools and techniques, right? So DevOps practitioners must have a deep understanding of software development, system engineering, automation tools. This technically mastery enables them to build, test, deploy, and monitor software with precision every time. Similarly, creative problem solving. So like, let's say DevOps goes beyond your mere technical skills. It involves creative thinking to devise solutions that are not only effective but also efficient and sustainable. This includes finding innovative ways to automate your repetitive tasks, streamline workflows, and create synergy between your previously siloed teams. Uh, I'm not just like saying for this talk, but yeah, actually, DevOps teams does a lot of work. You will come to know when you at least get connected. If you are from the development, you will always get connected to them, and you will come to know like yeah, this kind of things going around. Then creative problem solving, we talked about, right? Then there is our next thing is customization and adoption. Similar to how artists adapt their techniques to suit different mediums or styles, DevOps professionals customize and adapt practice and tools to fit the unique needs of the organization and projects. So how they do that, right? So let's say you have some use case, right? There is some uh, your company come with a new platform for you. Now you have to use it in a manner that suits the team, development teams and current infrastructure, right? So you will the person who will make it customized according to the unique needs of the organization as well as the projects which are currently going on. So that is a huge work, right? So then they will define the entire workflow, and slowly they will work around it. Similarly, emphasizing innovation and creativity. So in emphasizing innovation and creativity, there are a lot of things, right? So we will talk about innovative culture, right? So DevOps fosters a culture where like continuous improvement is always valued. Teams are encouraged to experiment, take risk, and think outside the box, much like an artist exploring new forms and expressions. Every time you have to come with the new solutions which can help every time. Then solution oriented approach. DevOps teams often face complex changes that require unconventional thinking. This necessity breeds creativity, leading to novel solutions that might not have emerged in a more rigid working environment. Like DevOps teams work in a manner where like there are every time there is like any infrastructure get down, you have seen lot of memes, right? There is a fire in the background and your production is going like crazy. So this team handles that every time and provides new solution to make this not happen in the future. So we always say like DevOps is a palette of skills and tools. So what it is about, like imagine a DevOps as a painter's palette, right? Just as a painter mixes it with different colors to create the perfect shade. So DevOps team blends various tools, technologies, and practices to build a harmonious software development and development process. So each element in the palette, where it's like automation, continuous integration, CI/CD, and monitoring, this all contributes to various new things which we call as a picture, right? Similarly, you will see there is a solution oriented approach every time, right? So let's move forward to our next slide, uh, where you can see DevOps is one of the biggest market. It is expected to be seen like it will annually increase 25% between the 2024 to 2032. So if you are new to the DevOps and want to move into it, it is of course it is one of the career goal to be seen forward to. So if you want to move ahead, you should definitely look out the big picture. So let's move to the next slide. As you can see here, harmonizing code, culture, and continuous delivery. What actually it is. So here we will see. First, there is the first point will be like what is the best practices for the code management. You must have come across the various code management tools. You must be using them, but you don't know like yeah, that are the code management tools. Similarly, you must have come with the code configuration management tools. Like recently, I wrote one blog right on Config open source project, which is kind of it manual. It helps you to not always put your passwords and usernames always, right? So that is the code configuration happens on the high levels. Similarly, there is a version control. You must have used the github, right? So github helps to foster that collaboration between the your whatever package, whatever project you are working on. Every time you come up with the new versions with the simplified approach, right? Whatever you did previously, there might be some bugs, there might be some you want to track some history of that project, like what actually you did, what person did which project, and inside that which role was assigned to that person. So every history is tracked, and it is really awesome, right? So that is one of the thing. Then effective branching strategies, let's say like you can facilitate like parallel development and feature integration. So you can introduce the git flow, you can introduce the various new practices to introduce any new features whenever developer wants to use it. So as we move forward, sorry for that. Hmm. So if you can see here, now we will talk about like fostering a DevOps culture. Like if you want to create a DevOps team, then you must be seeing this picture a lot. So culture of collaboration, feedback, and learning is crucial for sure, because we are talking about this thing from the start of this talk. Then, of course, the incorporate regular team building and knowledge sharing sessions to foster unified DevOps culture. DevOps teams maintain some culture which will help every teams to contact with each other with having some platform, or they can have some tool to configure that thing. So this is the team which will handle every processes going around your from the development to the production, right? So they should be aware of that, and you should be working on something to maintain that DevOps culture. Next is CI/CD pipeline. So if we talk about CI/CD pipeline, I talked about this infinite loop at the start, right? So code plan, uh, build, test, release, deploy, operate, monitor, planning. So we say it from the start, right? So as we say, so CI/CD is nothing but it will automate every release processes from the code to deployment, which I just talked about, right? From the development to the deployment, everything works on the CI/CD DevOps team. So key components will be like automated build, test, and so have you if you have ever worked on the any AWS code builds, or like Jenkins, or GitLab, or like Google's own pipeline provider and stuff, right? So if you have worked with these things, it is nothing but a CI/CD tool or CI/CD service provided by that cloud provider. So they, what they do, let's say you are working on some project, you are working on some web development project, and where you build some any website or something. Now you want to deploy it, so you will just publish your code into the GitHub, right? But now next thing you will be like handled to the CI/CD pipeline. You can't always go and deploy it to the website DNS, your IP, which is provided by a cloud provider, and set the DNS. And again, if you are doing some changes, again you want to change it, you will go and change it. No, it was not like that. You will set some stories, you will set some process inside your pipeline, and the pipeline will work automatically depending on that stories. It will adjust, like it will say like if test is validated or not. If it is validated, then only it will move forward, otherwise it will cancel and it will go to the first step. That happens inside the CI/CD entirely. So the CI/CD works on the automation a lot, and then flows to the monitoring, where like you can monitor everything, how the processes are working and all. So that's why this is one of the key thing to notice. So let's say uh, you talk about the trends a lot in the 2024, right? Gen AI, and all the stuff. So that will be heavily impacting the DevOps too, because of course there is the wave of Gen AI. So of course that will help to grow the DevOps trend a lot. So how we will talk about that. Uh, so as you can see, we are first point I'm mentioning here is AI and machine learning integration. So there are there are a lot of possibilities we can do with the AI and machine learning in the world of a DevOps. So first, I would like to talk about is like how have you worked on the Kubernetes, and have you worked about any code configuration tools or authentication, authorization, anywhere you have worked, right? So everything can be like everything can be simplified by using the use of AI. Let's say you are using you are using some form to validate yourself into that website. You put your name and stuff, right? Now it will work at the background, it will work as authentication and authorization and stuff. So yeah, you can introduce the LLMs into it, and then it will never, you don't have to write your authorization policies on yours. You don't have to work on the security in the in from you just say to the LLMs and it will do for it. Similar things can be happen in the Kubernetes. Similar thing has happened, and KHCPT is one of the example. Like Alex is the person who has worked a lot on this project, and he is trying to achieve the various heights with this. So yeah, definitely go and check it out. Then there's Kubeflow. Kubeflow is like in the Kubeflow. I guess I worked on the Kubeflow around like 2020 or 2019, when there was no documentation of Kubeflow on AWS, and also we prepared that documentation and we were working on that. So it was so nice experience. And today Kubeflow is coming with the new capabilities where it is solving the DevOps lifecycle. So how actually it will, so let's say you have some pipeline, right? So you have DevOps CI/CD pipelines and stuff, you are monitoring it and all. But Qflow is not a Qflow, but any AI machine learning tools which will come into the market, they can automate this process too. Like you don't have to always monitoring that stuff. It will directly give you the alerts on the Slack or any platform you use for the company's messaging and stuff. So I will definitely recommend you to check out some big companies working on these tools. Then DevOps teams believe in AI for sure. Like they have to believe for the future, because that will help them do data analysis, security, and bug identification, which I already talked about. So early adopters of AI in DevOps have seen a decrease in software delivery and operational performance. Whatever I told, it is just written in the key terminologies, like different keywords, right? So yeah, I will share this slide with you. Then if you talk about productivity and collaboration tools, there are a lot of things, right? Productivity in DevOps is emphasized through the automation and mundane tasks using existing tools, although focusing on critical development and operation aspect. Yeah, a lot of keywords, right? So to simplify it, let's say there are various teams working in your companies, right? They must be working from all over the world. So you can prepare some environment which will help teams to work around, like what is the product strategy, what tools we need, or what kind of remote collaborations we can do. So everything can be simplified, and this can be provided by the DevOps team to maintain the critical development and operations every time. So how it can be maintained. So DevOps team will keep in mind to come up with the new tools to simplify the work, and as well as it will develop this for the customers as well as so what can be the next thing? So cloud and microservice alignment. So cloud is one of the thing where like DevOps align the well. So similarly, if you have come with the microservices, so microservices, I have been talking about microservices from last year. You must have gone through my previous STO talks and all, right? So microservices is nothing but different services which talk about one, let's say there is one web page, right? Inside web page, it is that web page is deployed on the various DNSs and all, right? So inside there are different microservices. So microservices helps to make that business logic align with the actual development. So developers can focus on the development, and DevOps team can work on the what we say deployments and also uh, business logic. So this integration leverages the scalability and flexibility of cloud infrastructure and rapid development capabilities of microservices. So yeah, in the future you will see like there are a lot of changes will be done on the microservices, like microservices with new trends along, right? And it actually helps to automation and also like accelerating the innovation and time to market. How you must have seen like service meshes and microservices are shown in lot of newspapers, and not like you have physical newspapers, but yeah, qcon or like that is news stack and these websites, right? You will see like lot of folks are talking about this thing along with the chain, and also yeah, keep in the mind for these things a lot. Then we can talk about cybersecurity and DevOps. So cybersecurity is one thing which is really not focused by a lot of folks, but you should be considering about the cybersecurity, and it actually comes into the picture with the DevOps. If you have worked with in like if you have dived deep into the DevOps, so one of the primary concerns is like how the authentication will work, how the authorization will work, how the access controls will work. So yeah, there are some tools like Subos. They are like where I work, is like we have developed some open source project which really helps a lot. Then there is a Wireshark. Wireshark will help you to maintain some tunnels and VPNs inside your own system, so you don't have to you don't have to worry on the VPNs and all. Then there is a Kyverno, which is one CNCF projects. It also helps a lot when you're working on the uh, access controls and all. So everywhere it is like cybersecurity should be focused on. So there are everywhere there is a security vulnerabilities, and also there are a lot of tools to scan that things, and you should work on these projects, because real time scanning can help you to avoid a lot of pain while after the production, after your project is deployed in the DevOps, sorry, production. So that's why you should keep in mind. Then security considerations are becoming integral, which already I talked about. So because everyone is trying to use the AI into DevOps, but yeah, you should know, you should be aware, like you are using some things which all every it is controlled by someone else, so there will be always security issues and all. So keep that in mind. Envoy is like one of the big projects. So whatever website you go through, you must have noticed there is some ports and all is there. So if you go inside that, you will see like Envoy, it is the proxy works on the Envoy. So one of the project you should really check into the infrastructure and data management. So yeah, Terraform is one of the project which everyone knows, right? So infrastructure as a code is one of the I will say like tech where which helps a lot to every DevOps engineer in IT. Like they help to maintain the IT infrastructure through the code, which we today talk as a like policy as a code and stuff, right? So Pulumi is also one of the thing which they have their own open source projects as well as company enterprise versions. So it provides you with the like you can come with the any code and you can create the infrastructure. So yeah, that is really awesome. I would say Terraform is another, but I don't know, like Terraform or OpenTofu. But yeah, both are open source. If you are a developer, if you are enterprise, you can choose whatever works for you. Then CI/CD implementation automates the software development lifecycle, enhancing management of complex development every time. Because infrastructure, when you're creating the infrastructure, you have to manage it accordingly with implementations of the CI/CD. Data engineering, there a lot of folks talk about like data on Kubernetes, right? So how it works. So how data on Kubernetes is one of the biggest factor today people are talking about. One of the company to keep in mind is VM, right? So check out their projects, you will learn about that. So business intelligence is one of the thing which helps to make the decision making and unlocking the data potential, because data is one of the thing which will power your DevOps culture and DevOps like fostering the whatever you are using, like let's say you maintain some packages and stuff, right? So data is the power of that thing only. So a lot of researches are going on the data on Kubernetes. So if you, and there is one of the track in KubeCon this year. So if you are looking on the data on Kubernetes side, you can go and check it out. As well as in the data on DevOps, there are a lot of things. There are actually some conferences which are only talking on these things. So yeah. The next thing is our GitOps, AIOps, MLOps, DevSecOps, so just like ops. So if you talk about the GitOps, then you will see like GitOps automates and control infrastructure using Kubernetes paradigm. Let's say like have you come up have you come across any ways where like you don't have to set up your own pipeline, or you don't have to use any cloud provider to create any entire pipeline for the automation and stuff? You can directly use the Git projects and do stuff. So Argo is one of the project which is popular. You can check my Cloud Native Talks podcast where I have invited the founder of Argo to talk about these things. Then there is the AIOps and MLOps, which is kind of popular. I previously worked as an MLOps engineer, where like I worked on the ways like how to automate the pain of the ML engineer, data scientist to automate everything. So ML engineers and data scientists have to go into the pain where they have to clean the data, then they have to train various times. They have to go into the various pain of the automating the process, training the machine learning model for years and years. So yeah, this gets simplified with the help of DevOps. Qflow is one of the project for that. Then DevSecOps, and DevSecOps emphasizes the security, observability. So there are a lot of tools like, let's say, eBPF is one of the technology you should look forward to if you want to go into these things. And next is serverless computing and the microservices. We already talked about the microservices, so service meshes and all. If you want to work around, you should focus. Then serverless computing and cloud native infrastructure are gaining traction a lot. Because they are offering a lot of services to the companies, and everyone wants to work on the service mesh and serverless computing. So that's why AWS and these companies are working a lot on the Lambda and these things. So yeah, if you are someone, if you are a company, a startup or something which want to look forward to it, then look forward to like simplified infrastructure and scalable and cost efficient infrastructure. Then this is the two things you should look forward to. Then microservice architecture and containerization facility independent component development and deployment. Then data observability and platform engineering are emerging fields. I have talked a lot around platform engineering last year and this year. So platform engineering is like one of the key trend for the next year. So there is platform engineering day at KubeCon, so you can also check the talks for that. And platform engineering is like to simplify it. Platform engineer is one of the person who creates the who helps to your maintain that uh, cycle proper between the DevOps and SRE, where platform engineers will create the platform for your company only to work on like maintain the culture between DevOps and SRE, like whatever things they are working on. So this platform engineer will keep in the mind of the research which tools to introduce into the teams, like which tools are the biggest trend of the next year or something, which tools can be integrated. So platform engineer will come up with these things, they will do the research and implement it. So yeah, this is one of the trend you should look forward to if in the next year if you want. If you want to learn about the DevOps and all. So yeah, there are a lot of DevOps engineers are named as a platform engineer today. So definitely you should check out on LinkedIn or somewhere. Then yeah, if you want to learn the DevOps from the scratch, these are the only resources you will need. And there are some channels like these are the resources, as well as there's a you will see like there is a DevOps roadmap by Sayam, then DevOps community by me, which has around, I guess, now around 10K members and all. So DevOps community.in, all resources are our Cloud Native Tech Talks is one of the podcast, which is nice. Then there is a 90 days of DevOps is one of the best thing in the DevOps. If you want to learn about DevOps, then by hands-on and stuff, then this is the repo you should look forward to. IIC has the nice resources. Then Nana has really awesome videos to if you want to learn about the DevOps and stuff. Then Cube Simplify, as well as Victor's DevOps toolkit. Then Kunal's some videos are really nice, like networking and stuff. Rockcode is one of the platform where you can learn about this. So hope this was a really exciting session for you about the DevOps and stuff. If you want to learn about DevOps, if you have any doubts, you can always reach out to me on Twitter or Gumbe64. And yeah, thank you for attending my today's talk.